The storm rolled across the Arizona plains like a wounded beast, howling, furious, swallowing everything in its path. And right in the heart of it stood Jacob Reed, a rugged cowboy who'd spent more nights under the open sky than inside any four walls. He thought he'd seen every kind of danger the desert could throw at a man. But nothing prepared him for the tiny silhouette he found curled beneath a fallen juniper tree. A little Apache girl, barefoot, shivering, eyes filled with fear. Jacob froze. Not because he was afraid, but because in that moment something deep inside him whispered, "If you walk away, she won't survive." He wrapped his coat around her trembling shoulders, lifted her into his arms, and rode into the storm like a man chasing the sun. He didn't know who she was. He didn't know where her family was. He just knew he couldn't leave her behind. Before we continue this powerful story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Frontier Heart Stories, where every story reminds us that kindness still matters. For 2 long hours, the storm battered Jacob as he rode toward the nearest cabin he owned near Eagle Ridge. The little girl barely spoke, only whispered one word between sobs, "Mama." Jacob made a fire, gave her water, and wrapped her in blankets. She was no more than 6 years old, and yet her silence carried centuries of pain. By dawn, the storm broke. The sun rose, painting the land gold again. But that peace didn't last, because the moment Jacob stepped outside, he saw them. Apache trackers, 3 of them, armed, moving fast, and in front of them, a stunning woman with jet-black braids, fierce eyes, and a strength that moved like the wind itself. Her steps stopped the moment she saw her daughter inside Jacob's cabin. She rushed forward, dropping to her knees, holding the little girl as if the world could vanish at any second. Jacob expected anger, maybe accusations, maybe worse. But instead, she looked at him with trembling lips and said, "You brought her back to me. No man from your world would risk the storm for us." Her name was Nadira, a healer, a mother who had searched through the storm until her voice broke. She told Jacob her daughter wandered off chasing a wild colt before the storm hit. No one had been able to track her except him. Jacob shrugged. It was the right thing to do. But Nadira shook her head gently. No, it was the kind thing to do. And those words hit him harder than any desert wind. That night, Nadira insisted Jacob join their evening fire for a thank you meal. Sitting beside her tribe, Jacob felt something he hadn't felt in years: belonging. Little by little, Nadira's laughter softened the corners of his hardened life. Her daughter clung to his sleeve like he was part of their family. And somewhere between sharing stories and passing warm bread across the fire, Jacob realized something. He had spent years surviving the world, but this was the first time he felt like he was living in it. Still, the twist came when Nadira quietly admitted the truth. Our people were ready to leave this land. The storms, the hardship. We believed the spirits had abandoned us. She looked at her daughter, safe, smiling, alive. But your kindness, it reminded us that goodness still walks these plains, that maybe we do not stand alone. Her tribe didn't just thank him. They decided to stay, because one act of compassion reshaped their belief in the world around them. And Jacob, his life changed in a way he never expected. Nadira placed her hand over his and said softly, "You saved my child, but you also brought back our hope." For a lone cowboy who thought he had nothing left to offer the world, those words were a sunrise after years of night.